right, ladies and gentlemen, so today we're going to work on reviewing from 7th grade volume of pyramids, right? And it's very similar to what we did with volume of cones. So the formula for the volume of the pyramid is the same as a cone. V equals 1/3 big BH. We've been talking about that big B. The big B changes depending on the shape because big B stands, if you remember, area of the base. So depending on what shape the base is, that's going to change. And we've talked about that these are 3 of the formulas that you need to have memorized. So for a square, it's side squared. For a rectangle, it's LW. And for a triangle, it's 1/2 BH. And again, it's what's on the bottom. I'm going to add circle in here, and I'm going to ask you to do that as well, because a circle is pi r squared. So you take and substitute into your big BH formula one of those 4 depending on what the shape is. So here's a nice cone to review from yesterday. So we have volume is 1/3, and instead of big B, I'm going to put in pi r squared. Pi r squared h. 2 is your radius, 7 is your height, and remember we're using our pi button. So we have 1/3 times pi times 2 squared times 7. And it doesn't say to round, so we're going to have to write out our, our full decimal that we see on our screen. So 29.32153,143. And I need my labels, miles squared. Remembering that 1/3 can either be multiplied by 1/3 or you can divide by 3. All right, so let's take a look at number 2. So now we're getting into some pyramids. So we're going to look at our shape on the bottom. That's a triangle. And I actually don't need, this is an extra side that I do not need in that triangle. So we're going to have 1/3, but instead of big BH, I'm going to put in 1/2 base times height. And I'm putting that in parentheses because this is for the triangle and I don't want you to confuse it with the height for the pyramid. And then we'll have another H. So 1/3 times 1/2 base and height of the triangle are 3 and 4. And height of the pyramid happens to be 4. So I'm going to simplify this part first. You can put it all in your calculator in one big step if you want, but I want you to see where it's coming from. So I'm going to have 1/3. Well, 3 times 4 is 12, and 1/2 of 12 is 6, and then times 4. And again, if you can skip, this is the one step that you're allowed to skip. But if you need it in there, great, go right ahead and do that. So 1/3 times 6 times 4 is going to give me 8, and my label, miles cubed. Ooh. No one, I hope you guys realized I did the wrong label up there. That should be a 3 in our example number 1. Sorry. All right, number 3. So this time when I look on the bottom, I have a square. I know it's a square because the 2 sides down here are the same. So I'm going to have 1/3, but instead of big B, I'm going to put in side squared times h. Here's your side, here's your h. So 1/3 times 11 squared times 12. Again, throw that all on your calculator if you need to. So 1/3 times 11 squared times 12 is going to give us 484 centimeters cubed. Okay, number 4. This time I have a rectangle on the bottom. I know it's a rectangle because my 2 sides are different. And we're going to have, instead of big B, I'm going to put in length times width times height. So 1/3 times 2 times 5 times 5. And I'm guessing this one's going to give me a repeating decimal. Maybe not. Oh, and how nice. It turned it into a fraction already. So 16 2/3 inches cubed. Your calculator might have also shown this Either way to write it is okay, depending on how you entered it. All right, let's try a couple more. See what we got going on here. So for number 5, this time again I have a triangle. They gave me an extra side that I don't need, which is always helpful. So 1/3 times 1/2 base times height, right? Triangle 1/2 base times height. This is your base, your height, and then the height of the triangle. So we have 1/3 times 1/2 times 8 times 6 times 12. This time I'm going to do it all in one step. Times 1/2 times 8 times 6 times 12. And we get 96 feet cubed. So if you're not sure how to put that into your calculator, then you need to come and see me to make sure that I can help you out with that. So for number 6, we have a cone this time. So my volume, I'm going to take out big B and I'm going to put in pi r squared h. We need radius. This is a diameter. So just like we practiced with cones and cylinders all on their own, you have to make sure that you have the correct measurement there. So I'm going to need 9 for my radius. So 1/3 times pi times 9 squared times 18. And again, it doesn't tell me to round, so I need to multiply through by, and write out all of those decimal places. So we're getting 1,526.81403 miles cubed. All right, so I'm going to ask that you guys try number 7 on your own, and then we'll check it, and we'll save 8, 9, and 10, the word problems. We'll do those together in class at the beginning. Okay, so stop it, try number 7, and then I will put my work up and you can come and check it. Okay, so you should have gotten 126 miles cubed. This was a rectangle, so I did 1/3, 6 times 7 times 9, and again got 126 miles cubed. I'm actually going to do one of the word problems. So a square pyramid, so this is the side of the square, and then this is your height. So my formula, 1/3, instead of big B, I'm going to put inside squared times h. So just like we did when we had it in picture form. So 1/3 times 10 squared times 6. And that should give me 200 yards cubed. Okay, we'll do one more. A cylindrical water tank has a diameter. Oh, that's a cylinder. Oh, good, we're going back. Okay, has a diameter of 5.3 meters. So I already know I'm going to need radius, so I'm going to do half of 5.3, which is 2.65, and a height of 9. It's a cylinder, right? So that isn't the 1/3, that's just my big BH, pi r squared h. It's telling me to round to the nearest 10. So we have pi times 2.65 squared, and my h is 9. And I like when I get to round them. Makes my life a little easier. So 2.65 squared times 9. So 198.6 meters cubed. All right, we're not going to do number 10, but again, any questions? And if you don't know how to put this into calculators, please ask myself or Mr. Bush. Have a good night, guys.